You're still watching GBC News. We have an exclusive interview with the Sene East District Chief Executive, Mr. Jerome Gyimah, to speak to us about the incidents that happened on the 23rd of January, that unfortunate incident where we had 8 school children commuting to school drowning in the Volta Lake. Welcome to GBC News, Mr. Kofi Gyimah. Okay.
Thank you.
How did this all happen?
Right, thank you. I want to use this opportunity to say condolences to the family members, the district, and then the entire country. Actually, it is not the first time that they've been crossing with this private boat. And the man who happens to cross them to it is not the first time that he has ever assisted the children on that ground. They have 2 female ladies in that community who always go with the students. But that very day, one was not feeling well, and then the other one had trouble. So the children, having got to the river bank, were stranded. So the man, having came from fishing, decided to assist them. And so they all bought the small private canoe, which always fitted with the engine boat. So they went to the middle of the water. Then one of the students decided to fetch water. So upon fetching the water, then it swayed and then fetched water. Then some of the students find themselves in the water. So the man was trying to rescue them. So in the process of rescuing them, some of the children can swim. So they held one side of the canoe and then everything capsized. So some people were also offshore around the banks of the river, and they saw them. So they rushed in, helped the man. Unfortunately, 8 of them perished, and then 15 survived. That accounted for this incident. So actually, it's a sad event that the people of Sene East have find ourselves. So we are looking forward to making sure that some of these things doesn't happen anymore.
I mean, it beats my mind in this day and age. Why were they not wearing life jackets?
Yes, before then, let me also make it a point that it is not always the time that they cross that river. What I do know is that at times the place will be dried, so they walk through. But this time around it has flooded, so they have no option than to cross. And it is not far place. It's so mysterious that some of these things happen because it is not normal, it has not been happening. But we as an assembly had shared about 200 life jackets to various community and boat owners.
You mean after the incident happened?
No, before the incident.
Okay.
We shared the life jackets to those boat owners. But what happened is that most at time, the people of Sene East, they usually have reluctance in using the life jackets.
Why? Are they uncomfortable to wear?
I don't know. It's like people feel that they can swim, nothing will happen. It's like the river is more or less our mother, and we live with the river. So some of these things doesn't happen regularly. So it's hard time you hear this one. That's what I'm saying, that this one has its own meaning. I've mentioned in some areas that when the incident happened, it was then that we were told that one man had drowned in that water, of which the Nanano were not informed to purify the water. That accounted to what we observed.
Those must be superstitious beliefs, but we
but
can't
we are in
also
Africa, and tradition
do away with those beliefs as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, the community from which they were traveling to, Wayokope, does that mean we don't have any schools there?
No, there's no school closer apart from that Wayokope. But it's not only that school, that community that crosses the river. We have a number of communities that they cross the river. That is why anytime I try mentioning that this is the time that NGOs, philanthropists, government institutions and agencies should come and then assist us, because we still need additional school bungalows for teachers. We need bungalows for nurses. We need school classroom blocks for some of these areas. And assembly alone cannot afford it. So we still need individual and philanthropists to come to our aid, because we have more than 10 to 20 communities over banks, and more than 30 to 50 communities on the lake, on the river banks. So what it means is that even if this incident doesn't happen, or now that it has happened, we still have students who cross river from one point to another. Not even talking about Atiga Gome crossing out to Waikope. We still have other areas that they cross river. That is why we are looking at if we can get assistance. And then there should also be motivation of teachers and nurses. That's what I'm still crying, that individuals and philanthropists who come to assist us, like fridges, foam mattresses, what do you call it, life jackets, even when it comes to giving us this solar lamps and then thereabout, it will help to motivate the teachers and nurses to stay in. And when there are bungalows available, and then some of these social amenities, it will help. I mentioned that even that at Atiga government, there is a mini grid, that's a solar mini grid, but the battery ran down. We had mentioned it to Energy Ministry. As of now, they haven't ratified it. So we are also using this opportunity to talk to Energy Minister that they should quickly come and assist the people of Atiga government. And they had also done a survey across the banks of our rivers, claiming that they will come and erect poles for mini grids so that the people along the river banks will have light. And I think that the Energy Ministry should speed up their work, and this is the time that I think when they come to help them.
Did they give you any timelines? They
have not given us timeline, but they had finished the feasibility studies. We were told they will be doing the procurement this month going to March. They might have finished the procurement. So we are so praying that it will go through, and some of these situations will get nurses and teachers to those areas.
So tell me about life after the incident, the unfortunate incidents. Do you still have people traveling on boats, probably this time around in a better boat or with life jackets? I mean, tell me what has happened and what kind of interventions you've deployed to ensure that this accident never happens again. Although we are told this is not the only exclusive incident it's ever happened before.
Yes. After the incident, we had a number of discussions with them, opinion leaders, regional minister, regional director, and then the individuals. We continue to talk to them. That the fact that you are staying closer to the river doesn't mean that you and the river are one. So we should know that the river continues to be the river, and we cannot walk on the river. So they should always try and wear the life jacket. The fact that you can swim, you don't know the day that will be danger for you. So we have spoken to them, and we are getting the pastors and they're about to also use it as a campaign tool, so that any time that they are traveling, they will use the boats. Sorry, they will use the life jackets. And the boats, no, the boats are the one that even caused the issue, the problem. It's not a wretched boat. It's a very strong boat, and that's what I told you, that there's mystery around it, and whether we like it or not.
It wasn't overloaded. It wasn't overloaded.
Actually, it was overloaded, but they have been overloading. It doesn't happen, but it's that we try to believe what the traditionalists told us, that if someone drowns in the water, the first thing is to inform them so they will purify the water. If the water is not purified, Sene River will actually punish you on that, and that is what we find also.
So, I mean, what other positive events has taken place after the incident? I mean, what I mean by positive, what kind of changes have you deployed to ensure that you've said that now you've given out life jackets, you are sensitizing people to make use of it? What other developments has come from this unfortunate accident?
Yes, we had a discussion with the Zoom Lion Ghana. They have a partnership with us, and so we are looking at if they can help procure the small children life jackets so that we can distribute it to the children who crosses the river to other schools. And then we, as I did mention, for government agencies and the NGO who also come to assist us, through the regional minister. He has also been there, the regional education director. And this afternoon, I even had a meeting with the Director General of Ghana Education Service, and I had a discussion with the Minister for Education, Unfortunately, I couldn't meet him himself, but I had a discussion with the aide, and it is more or less concluded that they are going to put up a classroom block for them, and then there are other opportunities that they will also get. So we are looking at getting better education for the children, and then they are also looking at if we can get psychologists to also take care of the children, so that it will
they can move forward from this incident.
Yes.
Okay, so as a district chief executive yourself, I would want to find out from you, have you reached out to the parents? How are they getting over their grief? And what are you doing as a district chief executive to ensure that this never happens again?
Yes, I have been there, and I went with the regional minister. I had a series of meetings with the bereaved family, the entire community too, and then we let them know that you cannot say that you are in your room and then the house has been roofed off, and because of that you say you will no longer build, or you are in your house and unfortunate incident, car comes in to knock your door and hit you, you die. Your family will not say that they will not sleep in a room again. So it's an accident that had happened. They shouldn't say that because it has happened, because the children were going to school and it has happened, they will no longer allow the children to go to school. This is an opportunity. It's a test case for us. What we need to pray for is that God should give those survivors memory, wisdom, so that they will be able to learn, so that in future they may get better positions that we have, so that we can use that to, praise God that whatever had happened, God has used that opportunity to raise the image of the district. So we have told them, and I think that it has entered into them, and they will listen. They will not prevent the children from going to school. I think they will allow the children to go to school. But we also do our part. I did mention at least putting up a classroom block for them. I think the ministry had promised that. And then the ministry, through the corporate affair, had also mentioned to me that they are putting measures in place that very soon they will work around the clock to make sure that things are done for us.
So, we do know that these are pupils who were accessing primary education, but we are not told of their ages. We are not told which classes they were and all that. If you could share with us, did you gather any of those information?
Yes, the ranges between 9 years to 15 years. And like I did mention earlier, we have also had a discussion with the Ministry of Education and then the GES that they should give opportunity for our students who have gone to UCC, Winneba, and then the Jackson College of Education distance, and then they are in these areas. When they are recruited into teaching service, they will stay in those communities and then teach the children. And because the children whom we find ourselves in this trouble, they are between the ages of 9 years to 15. We have about 3 females and then 5 males who pass on. Yeah.
Okay. Are you envisaging that Atika Gome will be transformed in the next, let's say, 2 years, 3 years during your tenure? Like it would be like a rural model community?
Yes, it will soon change because this incident had happened. I had gotten the opportunity to talk to the minister, the energy minister with regard to their licensing system, the education minister with regard to their classroom and the teachers to be recruited in those communities. And then I had also had the opportunity to talk to health minister with regard to them getting their chip compound nurses, and then those National Health Insurance should also approve the insurance package for them. That is where when we get the code, that they need to get the code to be able to get the chip compound operational. When these things are done, it means that their burden will reduce. So it's no longer like someone will travel from here to Karachi before they can access health care if the chip compound open, or neither KGG or any other area before they can access health care. So once it is open for them. They will have a lot of advantages on some of these things.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
So thank you too. So I also want to plead on the GTV that you should also look at your corporate agencies who will assist us when it comes to life jackets, when it comes to fridges, when it comes to foam mattresses, when it comes to solar panels and thereabout for teachers and nurses who are far in Sene is working tirelessly to make sure the image of the district is raised.
We do hope your appeal yield the desired results. Thank you so much for your time, sir. So that was the Sene East District Chief Executive who was having a chat with us, Mr. Jerome Gyimah, about the incident that occurred on the 23rd of January this year when we lost 8 school children who were commuting to school